You are not here by accident. You are not a fleeting spark in an indifferent universe, nor a shadow destined to fade. You are a force, a builder, a creator carved from the raw material of eternity. But somewhere along the way, you forgot. The world taught you to shrink, to hesitate, to trade your fire for safety. It whispered lies subtle, repetitive, relentless, until you began to believe your greatness was a dream for someone else. But today that illusion burns to ash. Today you hear the truth. Your greatness is not a hope, it is a law. It is not a gift to be earned, it is a birthright to be claimed. And the only thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live is the decision to stop apologizing for your power and start wielding it. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a man standing at the edge of a cliff, the wind howling, the abyss below. He is you. Not the you who doubts, not the you who waits for permission, but the you who knows he was born for more. That man does not step back. He does not flinch. He leaps not because he sees the other side, but because he trusts the fire in his chest. That fire is your belief, and it is not fragile. It is not a candle flickering in the wind. It is a furnace, unyielding, eternal, waiting for you to feed it with one simple choice, to act as if your greatness is inevitable, because it is. Belief is not a feeling, it is a decision. It is the moment you stop asking the world to validate your worth and start commanding it to make room for your vision. Look at Thomas Edison, a man who stood in the dark, surrounded by 10,000 failures, yet never wavered. The world called him a fool, but he called himself an inventor. He didn't wait for the light bulb to glow before he claimed his identity. He decided who he was, and every failed filament was just a step toward proving it. That's the truth about greatness. It doesn't wait for evidence. It creates it. Edison didn't stumble into success. He built it brick by brick through a belief so stubborn it reshaped reality. You have that same power, but you've been taught to doubt it. Doubt is not your voice. It is a parasite fed by repetition, by the endless chorus of not yet, not enough, not you. It grows when you listen, when you pause, when you let fear disguise itself as logic. But doubt is not your destiny. It is a habit, and habits can be broken. Andrew Carnegie, a boy born into poverty, understood this. He had no money, no connections, no reason to believe he could become the richest man in the world. Yet he did. Why? Because he refused to let doubt set the terms. He wrote his purpose on paper, spoke it aloud, repeated it daily until his subconscious had no choice but to obey. He didn't ask for greatness. He declared it, and the world bent to his will. You must do the same. Right now, in this moment, say it aloud. I am not small. I am not ordinary. I am a force, and my greatness is non-negotiable. Say it until your voice shakes the dust off your soul. Because the truth is, your mind is a battlefield, and belief is your weapon. Every time you speak your purpose, every time you act despite fear, you fire a shot at doubt. You weaken its grip. You rewrite the code of who you are. This is not about motivation. This is about reprogramming your identity. The man you were meant to be is not waiting for a perfect moment. He is waiting for you to stop negotiating with fear and start moving like you already are him. Clarity is the next step. Greatness demands a target, a vision so sharp it cuts through the noise of the world. Without clarity, your energy scatters, your fire dims, and doubt creeps back in. Henry Ford didn't just want to build a car. He wanted to build a car for every man, a machine that would change how the world moves. When his engineer said an 8-cylinder engine was impossible, he didn't argue. He said, produce it anyway. That clarity, unwavering, unrelenting turned a vision into an empire. Ford didn't see obstacles. He saw stepping stones. His clarity was his compass, and it guided every decision, every action, every moment of defiance. You need that same clarity. What is your aim? Not a vague wish, not a someday fantasy, but a purpose so clear it burns in your chest. Write it down. Speak it. See it in your mind's eye until it feels more real than the world around you. Because the moment you define your vision, you give your belief a direction. You turn fire into focus. Walt Disney, laughed at for dreaming of a magical kingdom, held a vision so vivid he could walk its streets in his mind. When banks refused him, When critics mocked him, he didn't falter. His clarity was armor, and it carried him through rejection to create a legacy that still lights up the world. Your vision is your rebellion. It is your refusal to accept the world's limits. But clarity alone is not enough. Purpose must follow. Purpose is the why behind your what. It is the fuel that keeps your fire burning when the world tries to douse it. Abraham Lincoln, a man who rose from a log cabin to the White House, was driven by a purpose larger than himself, to preserve a nation and end the stain of slavery. He didn't act for applause or comfort. He acted because his purpose was sacred, a vow he made to something greater than his own life. That purpose gave him resilience, the strength to face war, loss, and hatred without breaking. What is your purpose? Why does your vision matter? Is it to lift your family, to change your community, to leave a mark that outlives you? Your purpose is not a job or a paycheck. It is the reason you rise when you fall, the reason you move when you're tired, the reason you refuse to quit. Without purpose, your vision is just a daydream. With purpose, it becomes a mission. And a man on a mission is unstoppable. Discipline is the bridge between your purpose and your reality. It is the daily choice to act even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is not glamorous. It is not a montage of victories. It is the quiet decision to show up, to do the work, to honor your word to yourself. Charles Schwab, the man who built U.S. Steel into a titan of industry, didn't rely on bursts of inspiration. He relied on systems, habits, routines. He trained his mind to obey his purpose, not his moods. Every morning he reaffirmed his aim. Every day he took the next step. That discipline turned a telegraph clerk into a legend. You must build that same discipline. Start small, but start now. Write your vision every morning. Speak your purpose aloud. Take one action, any action that moves you closer to your aim. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. Because every step you take strengthens your belief. Every promise you keep to yourself builds your identity. Discipline is how you prove to your subconscious that you are not a dreamer. You are a doer, and doers don't wait for permission. They create their own momentum. Action is the spark that turns your discipline into destiny. It is not enough to know your purpose, to see your vision, to feel the fire of belief. You must move. You must act with the urgency of a man who knows his time is finite, his potential infinite. Action is not a suggestion. It is a command. It is the moment you stop planning and start building, stop dreaming and start doing. The world does not bend to thinkers. It yields to builders. And builders do not wait for the perfect moment. They seize the now imperfect, raw, and unrelenting, and carve their path through it. Consider John D. Rockefeller, a man who rose from a clerk to a titan of industry. He didn't wait for the oil market to stabilize or for the economy to favor him. He acted decisively, relentlessly, every single day. When others hesitated, he acquired. When others doubted, he invested. His actions were not random. They were rooted in a vision of dominating an industry, fueled by a purpose to create wealth that would outlast him. Every step he took was a declaration. I am not here to follow. I am here to lead. That's what action does. It tells the world and your own mind who you are, turns belief into evidence, purpose into progress. But action is not just movement, it is intention. It is the deliberate choice to align every step with your vision. Too many men act without direction, scattering their energy, chasing distractions, disguised as opportunities. That is not action, that is chaos. True action is disciplined, focused, purposeful. It is the phone call you make when your hands shake, the project you start when the outcome is uncertain, the commitment you keep when no one is watching. It is the moment you say, I don't need to feel ready, I need to be moving, because motion creates momentum, and momentum drowns doubt. Look at Elon Musk, a modern embodiment of this truth. When he set out to build electric cars or colonize Mars, the world laughed. Experts said it was impossible. Investors called it reckless. But Musk didn't debate, he acted. He poured his wealth, his time, his soul into his vision, not because he had guarantees, but because he had decided his purpose was non-negotiable. Every rocket that failed, every car that didn't sell was not a defeat. It was a lesson, a stepping stone, a proof of his commitment. That's the power of action. It doesn't just build empires, it builds you. You must act now. Not tomorrow, not when the fear subsides, not when the stars align. Now. Pick one thing small, uncomfortable, necessary, and do it. Send the email. Make the plan. Take the step. Because every action you take is a vote for the man you're becoming. Every delay is a vote for the man you're leaving behind. The subconscious doesn't listen to your excuses. It watches your behavior. Show it who you are. Show it you're a man who moves, who builds, who refuses to let fear write his story. Gratitude is the fire that sustains your action. It is not a soft sentiment or a polite nod to the universe. It is a radical act of defiance against a world that tells you to focus on what you lack. Gratitude is the choice to see wealth in what you have, strength in what you've endured, opportunity in what lies ahead. It is the lens that turns obstacles into teachers, failures into fuel. Without gratitude, your vision becomes a burden, your purpose a chore. With gratitude, every step feels like a privilege, every challenge a chance to grow. Think of Oprah Winfrey, a woman born into poverty, abuse, and rejection. She had every reason to resent the world, to shrink into bitterness, but she chose gratitude. She was grateful for the books that opened her mind, the teachers who saw her potential, the pain that forged her resilience. That gratitude didn't make her passive, it made her fierce. It gave her the clarity to see every hardship as a lesson, every opportunity as a gift. She didn't wait for the world to hand her success. She built it action by action, fueled by a heart that refused to dwell on what was missing and instead celebrated what was possible. You must cultivate that same gratitude. Every morning, name 3 things you're thankful for, not out of habit, but with intention. The breath in your lungs, the chance to try again, the vision burning in your chest. Let gratitude remind you that you are not starting from nothing. You are starting from strength, from lessons, from a fire that no one can take away. When you act from gratitude, you act with joy, with power, with a certainty that the universe is not against you, is conspiring with you. Adaptability is the blade that sharpens your gratitude into results. The world is not a straight path. It is a labyrinth full of twists, traps, and unexpected walls. The man who succeeds is not the one who avoids change, but the one who bends with it, who learns from it, who turns every detour into a new route to his vision. Adaptability is not surrender, it is strategy. It is the courage to pivot without losing sight of your purpose, to rewrite the plan without rewriting the dream. Look at Steve Jobs, a man who was fired from his own company, cast out from the empire he built. Most would have crumbled, retreated, or raged. Jobs adapted. He started over, built Pixar, created Next, and honed his vision in the wilderness of rejection. When he returned to Apple, he didn't just reclaim his place. He redefined the world with the iPhone, a device born from his ability to adapt, to learn, to evolve. His purpose never wavered, but his path did. That's adaptability. It's not about changing who you are, it's about finding new ways to become who you were meant to be. You must embrace adaptability. When the plan fails, don't cling to it. Rewrite it. When the world shifts, don't resist it. Use it. Every setback is a signal, every failure a teacher. Ask yourself, what can I learn? How can I grow? What new path can I forge? The man who adapts doesn't just survive, he thrives. He turns chaos into opportunity, doubt into determination. Your vision is sacred, but your methods are not. Be willing to change the how without losing the why. Resilience is the steel that forges your adaptability into legacy. It is not the absence of pain, failure, or fear. It is the refusal to let those things define you. Resilience is the voice that whispers, get up when the world screams, stay down. It is the choice to move forward, not because the path is clear, but because your purpose is louder than your wounds. The great ones, those who carved their names into history, were not spared hardship. They were shaped by it. Their resilience turned scars into strength, setbacks into stories of triumph. Consider Nelson Mandela, a man who spent 27 years in a prison cell, stripped of freedom, mocked by his captors, separated from his family. Most would have broken, surrendered, or burned with hatred. Mandela did not. He held fast to his purpose, a free and equal South Africa. In the darkness of his cell, he trained his mind to focus on the vision, not the chains. He emerged not as a victim, but as a leader, not with vengeance, but with forgiveness. His resilience didn't just change his life, it changed a nation. That's what resilience does. It doesn't just carry you through the storm, it makes you the storm. You have that same resilience within you. Every time you've fallen and risen, every time you've faced rejection and kept going, every time you've chosen to act despite the weight in your chest, you've proven it. But resilience is not a reflex. It is a discipline. It is the daily choice to speak strength into your soul, to remind yourself that no failure is final, no obstacle permanent. When doubt creeps in, when the world feels heavy, say aloud, I am not my setbacks, I am my purpose, I am not my pain, I am my fire. Repeat it until it drowns the noise. Because resilience is built through repetition, through the stubborn refusal to let the world write your ending. Learning is the compass that guides your resilience. Greatness is not a destination you reach and rest. It is a journey of constant growth, a commitment to becoming better than you were yesterday. The man who stops learning stops rising. The world is a classroom, and every experience, success, failure, joy, losses, a lesson. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb by chance. He learned from 10,000 failures, each one teaching him something new, each one sharpening his vision. He didn't curse the darkness. He studied it, dissected it, mastered it. That's what learning does. It turns ignorance into insight, weakness into wisdom. You must become a student of your own life. Every challenge is a question. Every failure is a textbook. Ask yourself, what does this teach me? How does this make me stronger? What skill, what truth, what strength can I carry forward? When J.K. Rowling faced rejection after rejection, penniless and alone, she didn't stop writing, she learned. She refined her craft, deepened her story, and turned her pain into Harry Potter world that millions now call home. Learning is not passive, it is active, deliberate, relentless. Read the books, seek the mentors, study the failures. Because the man who learns is the man who evolves, and the man who evolves is unstoppable. Now, let's speak of faith not as religion, but as the unyielding trust in your vision, your purpose, your greatness. Faith is the courage to act when the outcome is uncertain, to move when the world says wait, to believe when the evidence is scarce. Faith is what carried Harriet Tubman through the darkness of the Underground Railroad, leading hundreds to freedom despite the threat of death. She didn't have maps or guarantees. She had a purpose and a fire in her soul that no whip could extinguish. Her faith wasn't blind. It was built through action, through resilience, through learning. It was the certainty that her cause was greater than her fear. You must cultivate that same faith. It is not a gift from the heavens, it is a muscle you strengthen every time you choose to act, to learn, to rise. Faith is the voice that says, this will work, because I will make it work. It is the decision to trust your purpose over your doubts, your vision over your fears. Every morning speak your faith aloud. I trust my path. I trust my fire. I trust the man I am becoming. Let it become your anthem, your shield, your sword. Because faith does not eliminate fear, it overpowers it. This is the truth about your greatness. It is not a distant star you chase, but a fire you ignite. It is not a prize you win, but a life you build. You were not born to shrink, to settle, to fade. You were born to rise, to create, to burn so brightly that the world cannot look away. Every doubt you've carried, every fear you've fought, every moment you've questioned your worth, they were not signs of weakness. They were invitations to claim your strength, and now you answer that call. Stand up, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Write your vision. Speak your purpose. Take the step. Act with the urgency of a man who knows his time is precious, his potential boundless. Let gratitude fill your heart. Adaptability sharpen your mind. Resilience steel your soul. Learn from every moment, trust in every step, and move with the faith of a man who knows his greatness is not a question, it is a fact. You are not here to follow. You are here to lead. You are not here to dream. You are here to build. You are not here to wonder. You are here to decide, so decide now. Decide that doubt has no place in your mind, that fear has no vote in your future, that hesitation has no claim on your soul. Decide that you are the man who acts, who rises, who wins not because the world allows it, but because you demand it. This is your moment. Not a fleeting inspiration, but a line in the sand. From this day forward, you do not shrink, you do not apologize, you do not wait. You move with the fire of a man who knows who he is. And who are you? You are a force. You are a builder. You are the embodiment of everything the world tried to extinguish but could not. Your greatness is not coming, it is here. Claim it, live it, let the world adjust.